taxation of trusts has been under review by the government for a couple of years now, and they keep changing their mind. The poor taxpayer doesn't know what to do. In the end, they're changing particularly the capital gains tax treatment of trusts for those people who have become deemed domiciled in the UK. They're also changing the taxation of trusts for those people who are formerly domiciled individuals and are returning to the UK. It's good news for some and bad news for others, and it depends on the tax and the individual. For capital gains tax, there may be some advantages now for non-domiciled settlors who become deemed domiciled in the UK. For inheritance tax, there are still the advantages for many, but for returning domiciliaries, formerly domiciled individuals, there's bad news. They're going to lose the inheritance tax advantages that their trusts once had. The good news is that now all of the gains that an offshore trust makes will be tax-free unless and until distributed to a beneficiary. Previously, if a settlor had become domiciled in the UK having created an offshore trust, then all the gains in the trust would be taxed on the settlor when they arose. So that's one piece of good news for the taxpayer. Unfortunately, there's a lot of bad news as well for the taxpayer. Let me deal with three key points. The first is that distributions to your non-resident spouse or your non-resident minor children will now be taxed on you as a UK resident settlor of an offshore trust. Previously, distributions to non-resident people would have no consequence for you in the UK. The second piece of bad news is the conduit rules, as I call them. Previously, if you had a distribution and then subsequently made a gift to somebody else, there was likely to be no tax consequence for the recipient of that gift. Now, if a non-UK resident person receives a distribution from a trust, and then within 3 years of receiving that, makes a distribution to a UK resident person, then that UK resident person will be treated as if they had the gift directly from the trust, which may have a significant capital gains tax consequence for them. So it's hard to know whether this is going to capture sort of benign Christmas gifts from somebody who had previously had a distribution from a trust and then benefits their nephew in this country. It's a very uncertain piece of law for the taxpayer. Clients need to act before the 6th of April. They need to review their estate plan. For some, this will mean creating trusts, which can provide long-lasting tax advantages. For others, it will mean dismantling trusts that they previously created in order to avoid tax pitfalls after the 6th of April.